Good afternoon, Christine. I have a referral letter from Dr. Baker, but I'd rather you told me about what's been going on and how you feel that counselling can be helpful.
Well, I'm not sure it will, really. It wasn't my idea to come here. Dr. Baker insisted I give it a go because I keep going back to see him with, well, I'm not sleeping very well and I'm all stressed out and I'm not coping. I expect he's just fed up with me.
So counselling wasn't your idea?
No. Oh, it's nothing personal. It's just that I can't see how the problems I'm having at home can be made any better by talking to someone I don't know. Well, relate perhaps, or a marriage counsellor maybe, but, well, you seem much too young for me.
Well, that's a lot of reasons to be unsure. You didn't ask for this because you don't believe that counselling can help. And even if you did want counselling, you're not sure that this is the right kind. Plus, I'm too young for you. Christine, you seem both angry and sad at the same time.
Well, yes, I am angry, but I am also feeling down too.
The truth is, Christine, I don't know if counselling will be helpful or if I'm the right person for you. And I don't even know if couples counselling would be better. But we have got 50 minutes right now and we could use that time, if you like, to look at these questions. Then if you decide to go ahead with our work, the surgery offers up to 6 sessions, but that would be your choice.
My choice?
Yes, of course.
Oh, it's funny. You say that I don't have to come back. I really thought that you were going to try and convince me that counselling was a fabulous idea.
I don't see that as my job, Christine. You may discover that counselling isn't helpful, or you may actually discover that it is.
Well, I really appreciate you being straight with me, so yes, I think I'd like to stay and talk to you today, but I don't know about any other appointments.
Well, we can discuss that at the end of the session. Now, before we start, Christine, I need to inform you that anything you say will stay confidential within the surgery. I'll let Dr. Baker know if you decide to go ahead with counselling, and I will need to write a short summary of our work together at the end of the session. But if there is anything that you don't want included, we can discuss it.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about that. He's heard most of it anyway.
I'd also have to let him know if I was worried about your safety, if I felt that you were a danger to yourself or to someone else. Part of being in counselling is having the ability to keep yourself safe between sessions. Is that okay?
That seems fine. Actually, it's quite a relief because I have been feeling really down and I was scared what I might do.
You've been scared that you might harm yourself?
Yes. When I went to Dr. Baker, that was 6 months ago, I was feeling really, well, trapped and desperate, and I felt such a failure. I even thought about killing myself. You know, it's the only way out, but well, I wouldn't because of my daughter. But, well, I was scared what I might do if I really lost control.
So you thought about suicide because you couldn't see a way out. Are you still feeling like that, Christine?
No. No, Philippe, that's my husband, he made me go to Dr. Baker, and that's ironic really because, well, it's our relationship that's getting me down. But I'm on antidepressants now and I just feel exhausted and irritable and I'm still not sleeping properly.
So your relationship is really getting you down. Can you tell me more?
Yes, well, it was bound to happen in the end, I suppose. People always thought our marriage was a huge mistake. Though for years I thought it was working so well.
A huge mistake?
Well, yes. Philippe is from Zambia, you see, and apart from the cultural differences between us, he was 26 when we got married and I was 40.
So no one thought it would work?
No, they didn't. Do you know, this whole age thing really pisses me off because no one would give a damn if it was the other way around, you know, an older man with a younger woman. But people thought it was wrong, that I was doing something embarrassing and unacceptable. I mean, you looked shocked when I told you just now.
Well, yes, I was for a second, because it is unusual, which I suppose is the reaction that you get all the time. But I'm not feeling critical of you, Christine. Can you tell me more about the people who are against it?
Well, it was my parents mostly. I think they got resigned to the fact that I probably wouldn't get married. You know, I was too strong-minded, independent. I liked travelling about and I wasn't the marrying kind. But then I went to Zambia and met Philippe. And everything changed. I just felt so strongly about him, so deeply. I just wanted to be with him. He was just so different from any of the men I'd been out with before.
So what was so different about Philippe?
Oh, well, he was just more serious, really, more real. He'd had a really tough life. I mean, he'd walked miles to school in Kabwe and, well, then he'd worked himself up to college, you know, through government scholarships. He's a brilliant mathematician. He's even got his doctorate since we met. He teaches now in London. I don't know, he seems to have a completely different sense of priorities from most of the men I know. You know, even now, he sends part of his salary back to his family in Zambia to help support them. And I really respect that. And the way that, you know, he's done things to get on in his life. I mean, my life, well, it's been so easy in comparison.
So you really respected his values and hard work?
Oh, yes. Sometimes it seemed like it was us against the world, especially when we had Gemma. You'd be surprised how prejudiced people in this country still are. It was quite hard sometimes.
Would you like to talk about that?
Well, okay. We live in Bedford, you know, and that is quite a multicultural area, but I can still remember the shocked expression on the face of my childminder when I took 3-month-old Gemma to her for the first time.
And your parents, when you had Gemma, how did they react?
Oh, well, they never thought that the marriage could last. And I think they thought that I was doing things just to be difficult, like I always did.
That was said with feeling.
Oh, yes. It's the label I think I've got in the family. My mum would say that I did everything just to be difficult.
For example?
Oh, playing football with the boys instead of netball with the girls. Insisting on going to the secondary modern school instead of the grammar school, which I could have done. Oh, all sorts of things. They never believe that I'm going to do the right things for the right reasons. No, they always think that I'm going to do something just to be difficult.
So you marrying a 26-year-old Zambian man when you were 40 was just another example of you being difficult?
Oh, yes. And they just sat back and they waited for it to all go wrong.
Christine, I sense a real sadness there that it all went wrong.
Well, it didn't. Not straight away. We were really happy for 15 years, but now, and after such a long time.
15 years is a long time, yet you still see your marriage as a failure. It's a lot longer than many relationships last. What changed, Christine?
Oh, well, it's all down to Gemma, really. She's just turned 15, and, well, she's a lot like me, and she doesn't like being told off. And just, we have endless arguments about absolutely everything.
Well, I haven't experienced parenting an adolescent yet, but I do remember my parents finding my younger sister very difficult.
Oh, well, take it from me. Speaking as a parent, it is bloody awful. On the one hand, I really would like to try and understand her because I identify with the rebellious side of her. But on the other hand, I'm just so angry with her for bringing such unhappiness into the family. I try to support Philippe, in front of her, because I think I should, really. But when she's not there, I just turn on him.
So you identify with Gemma's rebelliousness, yet you support Philippe in front of her because you think you should.
Well, yes. I mean, the trouble is, we can't agree on what is reasonable. I think she should be allowed to go on a sleepover at a friend's, or maybe stay out a bit later if she hasn't got school the next day. But Philippe thinks that no young girl should do that because he thinks it's too risky. He keeps talking about her being respectable. Oh, and it doesn't help when she loses her temper and shouts such dreadful things at him. He thinks that's proof that she's out of hand. We never disagreed when she was little. But now, the fact that we're from such different cultures, it seems to, well, it's just ruining our marriage.
So you feel that the cultural differences have suddenly become a huge problem, and, well, you can't in all honesty support Philippe when Gemma's being difficult because you think he's being unreasonable.
That just about sums it up. The truth is, I blame Philippe because he refuses to accept what is normal for a teenage girl in this country. I mean, it's not as if she was doing anything really bad. Gemma's always shouting at him, "This isn't bloody Zambia!" And I have to agree with her.
And you feel that this is destroying your marriage?
Oh, yes. Philippe and I are constantly arguing. Perhaps my parents were right. The differences between us just are too great.
Christine, when you said that, I could feel how sad and depressed you're feeling. But what you describe, being caught in teenage arguments and conflicts, sounds to me like the kind of thing that happens to all kinds of parents, not just those from different cultural and racial backgrounds.
Really? I mean, you don't think that all of this is just down to the fact that Philippe is from Zambia?
Well, Christine, let's face it, arguing about how much freedom to give a teenage girl, especially when she's pushing the boundaries all the time, happens to lots of parents, especially if they're brought up differently, which is often the case, even if they're both white and born in this country.
Do you know, Stella, I didn't even want to come today, but it's been such a relief talking to you. I can see now that my marriage, well, it wasn't a huge mistake, and that, oh, well, it wasn't destined to end in failure. And I can see too that all these difficulties we're having with Gemma, well, they can't just be put down to cultural differences between us.
Well, Christine, you certainly seem less stressed. So, how do you feel about further counselling sessions?
Oh. Yes, I think I would like to come back for the other 6 sessions, if that's okay with you. I was wondering though, could I bring Philippe if he's willing?
I'm afraid that wouldn't be possible, Christine. You see, couples counselling is very different, and I'm not trained to provide it. It would also change the agreement between us. But, well, we could certainly use that time to explore whether you would like to go to counselling as a couple.
Yes, that would be really good if we looked at that. I'll bear it in mind. I'm quite happy with it being just us for now.
Shall we look at some dates then?
Yes, that would be great.